Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it would make my batter bitter. But if bitter better butter, that would make my batter better. So she bought a bit of butter, better than a bit of butter, and she put it in a batter, and the batter was not bitter. So it was, better Betty bought a bit of better butter. Hi guys, my name is Bubble Man. I remember flipping out on my cousins when they told me a watered down version of the story. And one of them had an 8GB flash drive. It is important to the story. We'll come back to that later. I grew up in Nepal and I've been living in Australia for 6 years, and I'm going to share my experience learning English as a second language. 90% of our curriculum was in English, and we had to speak English during school hours, or it was a 5 rupees fine. Ever since kindergarten, we learned alphabets. In primary school, I wasn't paying attention in class and we couldn't afford tutoring. My mum took the role instead, pronouncing words that were foshed, koshed, foshed, luffished. No wonder I was failing dictation. During read aloud, one of the boys said the same pronunciation and the teacher corrected him. So it's only after I realized that it was some deception level stuff. You write down one thing and say something completely different? How does that work? We only had 4 channels on our TV. All the kids were talking about Power Rangers, but I was stuck with Moomin on Wednesday evening and Tom and Jerry on Saturday night. We were eager to watch it all week and... Wait, what was that? Remember, this was Nepal, so we had frequent electricity outages. At times, even 18 hours a day. We were eager to watch it all week. And when the time comes, someone had to pull the plug. Are you serious? So one fateful day in 2006, I decided to muster up all my courage and I went home to tell my mum I was feeling left out and lonely because I had nothing to talk about. Couple of days later, I was caught by my surprise because we finally had cable TV. I was bummed we did not get Disney, Jetix or Pogo, which meant no Power Rangers, but I was blessed with Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. I watched all of these shows. As far as I knew, I was watching cartoons, and I certainly did not understand 70% of what they were saying, but I still tagged along because of the visuals. Maybe that's the reason why shows like Drake and Josh didn't appeal to my 6-year-old self. Hey, hi. You got a haircut? I look like an egg, right? No, you look like a chicken. What came first, the chicken or the egg? This part was recorded afterwards, isn't it? Yeah, and I got a haircut too. Before we had cable TV, we used to rent out movies and play it on the DVD player. I was watching them for the visuals as well, and I vaguely remember some of the movies. But that slowly became obscure as we fought for the remote in the years to come. My mum wanted me to learn and understand what they were saying in cartoons instead of mindlessly watching everything and anything that came on. We had a home computer with an LCD monitor, which was a new technology at the time, but I was grossed out due to the weird viewing angles because to me, CRT monitors were the bomb. After we got ourselves a home computer, I was learning to type by entering cheat codes on Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Road Rash instead of using Typeshala.
Boring!
One day, my cousin bought me something mysterious and powerful that looked like the Pandora's box, but actually it was the elixir of life. It was none other than the 8GB flash drive. Kids these days don't understand it was considered a massive storage back in the day. He had hood classics like Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne and Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. That song is the reason why I play guitar today. The music videos were in 3GP, and it also had a folder called A to Z Flash Games? Well, the bottom line is I listened to a lot of songs because of my cousin. I had a lot of people following me because I was a dealer for passing songs like Mockingbird, Smack That, and Crush via Bluetooth. I was knocking them dead. We listened to it just for fun and sang gibberish lyrics, but we slowly understood them as we grew up. If I knew a song, people would ask me to write down the lyrics, and even if I didn't know the proper lyrics to the song, they wanted the gibberish. Video games were an integral part of my learning process. I've always loved playing video games ever since I was little, but I understood a game a little better as I got older. We were playing games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Bully Scholarship Edition, IGI, Saints Row, and Sleeping Dogs countless times helped me understand dialogue prompt a little better with every replay. Turning on subtitles was definitely helpful. The soundtrack for games and movies also opened up my love for music. My PC was low end, so I was stuck watching Let's Plays on YouTube. English is one of the most powerful languages globally. Spoken by half of the world, this includes native speakers, non-native speakers in English-speaking countries, and millions more worldwide. English is the language of the internet. I remember adding and chatting strangers from all across the world on Facebook. My cousin introduced me to this super duper friendly website called Omegle, where I could talk to real people. Rest in peace, Omegle. Some people talk funny. That's what I thought when I discovered accents from this small video publishing site called YouTube. I even remember writing down the name of the website on a piece of paper under my monitor stand when I didn't know how to bookmark. I watched a lot of Ryan Higa's videos. It was definitely entertaining watching those videos with no intent other than to have fun. Channels like Smosh, PewDiePie, Marcus Brownlee, and a whole lot of prank channels were popping at the time. YouTube is red, Facebook is blue, the title is in English, why aren't you? YouTube was there for us, whether it was cooking, gardening, cleaning a clogged drain, passing your statistics exam, or learning how to play an instrument. It was always there for you. As weird as it may sound, tutorials also helped me discover popular songs. Discovering quite a few songs on my own, all the English I knew went out the window when I heard a Young Thug on hookah. It blew me away. Tip-top my lifestyle. With TV, there was hundreds of channels but nothing to watch. But on the internet, you can choose to watch whatever you want. Unless you're doom scrolling. You don't have to rent out movies or buy DVDs. You have access to movies right on your fingertips with or without subtitles. I always choose subtitles. It helped me learn different dialects, accents, and expressions. But what fascinated me later in life was expressions used like, I'm afraid. Can you fix the audio after the 12-minute mark? I'm afraid I can't do that.
Don't be afraid. Just do it. Did someone say...
Just do it!
Snap. What does snapping your fingers has to do with being mad?
Why did you make the audio so messy? The freaking microphone gave up on me mid-recording and I didn't even know till later.
Gas? You call petrol gas.
Anybody got snaps on the petrol? What's petrol? Gas?
I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure there's a bit of gas involved in that liquid, but calling liquid a gas is obnoxious. And the F word. I'm not talking about food. I'll let Dave Chappelle explain this.
You know, I learned about lunch. I didn't know they called cigarettes fags over there.
Yeah, you gotta kind of know that before you go.
Yeah, I was in a bar and the guy came up to me. I'm dying for a fag. Like, ugh, man. Why are you telling me this? Like, am I in the wrong bar?
I must have a fag in my mouth immediately.
Learning is imparting knowledge, but should not be limited to four walls. Most of my mates who came from non-English speaking countries learned English from the same sources as myself. Due to all the sources I learned English from, I was not subjected to grammatical errors academically. In my grammar section of my English exam, I used my intuition, repeated what sounded natural in my head, and 80% of the time, I was correct. And people were using freaking formulas like V3 plus ing and whatnot. Oh my god, V3 is an engine for Christ's sake. If you are a non-native English speaker and would like to work or study in an English speaking country, you have to do a proficiency test. That's either IELTS, TOEFL, or PTE. These tests follow specific structure and a format. More or less, you'll be following a template if you want to pass the exam. I did my IELTS back in 2018 and I scored 7 out of 9 bands. I was heartbroken because I practiced for 6 months and I fumbled on my speaking test. Bro, can you believe that? I was so heartbroken, I was so sad. And 3 years ago, in 2022, I gave my PTE test. I couldn't sleep well the night before, so I went to the washroom prior to the exam and rapped Fiaga Silva by Dave and AJ Tracy. I wish I was invited up that stage. But anyways, to my surprise, I scored 81 out of 90. The motive of learning something should be to implement it in our practical life, not just pass an exam. If I was to give a proficiency test without any preparation, I would fold like a losing poker hand. Score higher using a template than not being able to hold a conversation even for a minute.
Don't let this video fool you. I am not fluent. I have awkward conversations with people. At times, I can't even express myself fully, even in my first language. I get stutters and a bit of anxiety when talking to people or being around people in general, and my translation cogs needs fixing every now and then. This year, I'm planning to improve on my communication skills so I can excel in my personal and professional life. I want to be able to talk to people in instances where I might touch grass, make better videos. I don't want to keep on doing multiple takes and keep cutting videos left, right and center. If you are a native English speaker and would like to know what it feels like to be a foreigner, check the video in the description box down below. And for all of you who want to improve your fluency, check out the JAM method, which is also linked in the description box down below. I think the weakest part of my English is not being able to select the words on the spot. So just the other day, I was at the grocery store doing some shopping. So I told him, I wanted to tell him have a good one, but I also wanted to tell him to have a great day. So I was like, have a grrr. I don't know what happened, but that's what happens, bro. And you guys remember Spanian? I made a book review about him. I think a couple of years back, I met him in Burwood. I wanted to say I was a great fan or a big fan. I was like, but instead I said, I'm a good fan of your stuff, bro. Bro, that was so awkward. Truth be told, I have not read any books after reading No Longer Human. And this year, I have continued a very special series. I won't be giving you guys any hints, but because I don't want any spoilers, but I have a very long way to go. Anyways, figure out what aspect of your English is weakest and work on it. English forever, Bubbleman out.